And hi, I'm Lisa Kastner. I'm the founder and executive editor of Running Wild and Rise Presses, and I'm here with one of our fantastic authors, David Fitzpatrick. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Lisa.
And I'm just going to go right into it, into the more than, but yet we position it as 20 questions. So what is the first book that you remember reading?
First book was Mike Mulligan's Steam Shovel. That must have been when I was like, it's terrible. I don't know the author, but Curious George was the other. So it was a combo of Mike Mulligan's Steam Shovel and Curious George.
I love it. And who is your favorite author?
You know, that's a good one too. I like I like Paul Lisicky. I studied under him for a while at Fairfield.
Love him.
And Rachel Bash, she's great too.
Yeah.
And I love Donna Tartt, of course. She's knockout. Can really write. So.
Totally. And who do you feel influenced your writing?
Well, I think John Irving's The World According to Garp was the first time I read something where I really realized you can do anything within a novel. You can have all the fun you want and make people act like fools or something. But that was like I read it and I was like, oh, that's great possibility there in that book. So
that is very cool. What books made the biggest impact on you?
You know, I really liked early on. I liked John Updike when I first I was kind of late to reading. It wasn't until I was in college at Skidmore that I read Rabbit Run, and I remember because when I go back to it now and look at it, I see why the women of America didn't love the guy, because he was pretty. He was kind of rude to women, so that was no good. But just the possibility of what he can do with a sentence, you know, it's like any poem by him or any phrase, and it's just you're like bobbing up and down on the sea beside him. You know, he was highly skilled. So
very cool. If you could read only one book the rest of your life,
it'd have to be Franny and Zooey by Salinger, just because when Amy and I we usually go to the Cape. My parents have a place there, and we go just before Memorial Day. And even if I don't need it, I always buy a new copy of Franny and Zooey and stick it in the bookshelf. So now when people come to that house, they'll find like 3 or 4 copies of that novel. And so it doesn't make any sense to do it now, but I still do it. I don't know why. So.
I love it. I love that. It's a great idea. What do you read all the time?
What do I read all the time?
Or like reread?
Yeah, I like the very beginning of not the Lawn Boy that is now a bestseller, I think, but there was an earlier Lawn Boy by Paul Lisicky. And for the first 3 or 4 pages, it was like with the Updike thing, he did great things with words, and it always psychs me up to write or talk about writing or something.
Oh, that's awesome. What book would you save in a book burning?
I think I'd save all of the Salinger, but you know, maybe maybe I would let him, the Seymour an introduction. That wasn't a great one, the last one, I don't think. But
Mm,
his three others were pretty top drawer, you know.
cool. Very cool. And what inspired you to write? Well, we're publishing two books of yours, so I don't know if you want to talk about both of them or just one of them. Totally up to you.
Well, actually, my grandfather taught high school English at Somerville High School in Somerville, Mass. And but he died before I really started writing. But
Mm.
anyway, he kept some journals, so it's always cool to look back at and think that I maybe inherited some sort of, I don't know, groove from
Mm.
him through the years. I don't know if that's legitimate or not, but
Hey, it can be as long as you believe it, it's legitimate.
and then I had a great eighth grade teacher, Joe Rutland, from Adams Middle School in Guilford, and he was just wonderful. He ran a special writing class, and so it was me and like 8 other young girls, you
Mhm.
know. So he would always act like my ego was on the line. So he'd always side with me, so I wouldn't feel picked on or something.
Oh, wow.
But he was a great teacher.
He sounds like a great teacher. Um, who did you allow to read this book as you were writing it?
That lady right there, Amy Holmes, she's my number one editor, and um, she just is. I remember when we were first dating,
Mm.
she wrote a novel, kind of a fantasy novel, and it was really good. And I kind of hoped when I gave her some of my stuff that she'd give me a break a little bit, but she doesn't. She's really a hard ass editor when it's her turn to come down on me, I guess.
Well, we love her for it. If you were at a dinner party with four seats, what four authors or other people would you invite to your table?
Yeah, I thought about this one because um, I think I'd like just to overhear others talking. So it would be like
Mm.
Philip Roth, Mary Gateskill, um, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and maybe I don't know, Joyce Carol Oates, just someone who they're all supposed to be really good. I mean, I know Philip Roth is gone now,
Mhm.
but really good conversationalists and not afraid to start a fight kind of people, you know. So
That sounds fabulous.
yeah,
And what is your drug of choice?
chocolate.
Oh,
Chocolate is my drug of choice.
very good.
Um, I go mostly dark chocolate, but then I like any kind, really.
I'm right there with you on the dark chocolate.
Yeah.
What book is your guilty pleasure?
What book is my guilty pleasure? That's a good question. I don't know if I wrote that one down. I would say, you know, just going back to Salinger. So maybe, even though it's been done and been read 1,000 times, you know, a billion times, but Catcher in the Rye or maybe Franny and Zooey.
Mm,
And yeah, he just psychs me up to read. So,
awesome. Awesome. What movie or TV show is your guilty pleasure?
well, we started watching, Amy and I started watching, oh, well, right now we're watching Fubar, which is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I don't know who that other person is. But
Yeah.
then the other one we watch is the British Spy. What's that one called?
Slow Horses.
Slow Horses. Have you seen that yet? You should give it a look.
Okay, I
It's very
will.
good. It's very good.
Very cool. Do you read with music or with quiet or some other sound?
I prefer. I don't do well when there's singing in the background. If it's, even though a song can get you pumped up, I
Mhm.
like kind of old school jazz in the
Mhm.
background. And actually, Amy and I do that now. While she does crossword puzzles, I try to do some writing or just veg out to the sounds. So,
Oh, love it. If you could ask for one thing to change the world, what would it be?
that's a great question. I did not. I would say just to be make it a habit of listening in a conversation once in a while, not always, because I do that sometimes. I kind of overspeak, and I don't like that when I do that, when I interrupt people. And so that would be a goal I'd have, to listen more.
I love that. I think that's something all of us could definitely learn from, is just sit back and really listen and pay attention to what others are saying and conversing about. So, what does your reading environment look and sound like?
Well, it has that jazz going on, and then when we got this house, we're in a townhouse. We I had already written in the memoir Sharp, so I got the office space, and Amy is nice enough to let me use this, and she's really turned it into a nice little corner nook, but she doesn't get the silence that I get. So, but yeah, it's great. She does a great job. So
Awesome. Do you prefer paper, ebook, or audio?
I like paper.
Okay.
The smell of it and the feel and stuff.
And who would you cast as your main characters and why?
Well, the lead woman in this story is Gracie Rose, and she's just a phenomenal, charismatic Yale sophomore dropout. And that would be a tough one. Any ideas? I don't know, but I was thinking for the main the protagonist, Danny Halligan. I was thinking maybe that what's his name? Timothy Chalmont.
Oh, okay, cool.
Even though he doesn't have a great tan, but I know Danny Halligan, I was always proud of his tan. So
that could change.
That could change.
If you could meet anybody, who would it be and what would you ask them?
I think it would just be, I don't know, James Taylor. I've loved his music for such a long time, since I was a kid. So just say, I like your stuff and thank you and all that.
Oh, love it. Describe yourself in 5 words.
Maybe too self-deprecating at times, but generally sincere. I'd say once in a while I get a rash of sarcasm flying through me, but generally sincere.
I think you're allowed. Describe your life in 5 words.
maybe incredibly stormy for a while. You know, I was out of it for my young adult and my middle-aged adult. Once I hit 43 or 44,
Mhm.
life started turning around in a great way. But before then, it was kind of a mess.
Got it. What was your last guilty pleasure? It could be anything like food, activity.
Yeah, Amy and I went to a restaurant called River on the Connecticut River,
Mhm.
and they had this amazing, they call it a deconstructed banana split.
Oh,
So it sounds dangerous, and it was dangerous. But it was so good, you know, banana ice cream and
Uh, Caramelized bananas.
caramelized bananas. It was really fantastic.
it sounds fantastic. I think
I
I need to check that out.
yeah, I recommend it.
um, if you could write yourself into a novel, would you be the hero or the villain, and why?
Yeah, I think a villain would be kind of cool to try. I don't usually see myself in that role, but um, I could enjoy that. I don't know. I don't know what the role would be, but I cast myself.
Is there anyone you dream you could work with, and why?
I used to love Winona Ryder. I remember, but that was a long time ago. She still looks beautiful, but and I like who plays the spy in America. What's her name? She was in My So-Called Life. She was always cute.
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look her up.
No, oh, I can't remember her name.
My so Claire Danes?
Yeah.
Claire Danes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. She would be fun to talk to. What animal would you run wild with?
I think just because it's part of the general gist of this novel, I'd go with a wolf and try running with wolves.
Love it. And when was the last time you ran wild? What did you do, and what made it wild?
I think I'm very, sedentary in my ways. Even like Amy and I joke that we go to the grandparents' hour for dinner. And we see no one with. Everyone has white hair or it's all gone
Mm.
at these 4:30 diner meals and stuff. So,
What's on your playlist?
I love Mark Knopfler. I liked him with Dire Straits, but then he's done great work too with his soundtracks he does for albums like Local Hero. Did you ever see that movie?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right, I'll need to check it out.
Mm.
Disney, Universal, Warner Brothers, or some other studio?
Well, it's funny because Amy is so into initially when we were dating back in 2009.
Mhm.
She was really into comic book movies and violence. She liked movies with violence, and everyone's like, "Wait, you're going out with a girl who likes violent movies or something like that." But we found a way to make it work so far, so that's good.
There you go. Tea or coffee?
Tea. I don't think I've ever had coffee.
Really?
I love the smell of it, but I'm always afraid I would ruin the sensation by actually tasting it and feeling the bitterness. So I
Oh,
just go with tea.
very interesting. Very cool. Appetizers or desserts?
Oh, got to be desserts, especially after that banana split, the deconstructed banana split. So
It
dessert.
sounds like it. and I think you already answered this just in case though. Chocolate or vanilla?
Yeah, I think chocolate.
Okay.
Chocolate, definitely.
And is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Well, just sometimes I said this for my first book too, Sharp. Someone asked me, how do you feel about it?
Mhm.
And I remember my father playing golf, and he'd always say, as long as I get one shot or I hit it well, I feel good about the round that I played.
Mhm.
And it's been like that for both of these books. I just feel really good that I hit it well, So, and that's a nice feeling to have. Not that I couldn't get crucified by the critics, but so far it's been pretty good. That's what I would say. So far, I feel good about how they've turned out.
Well, we feel great about them too. So
Thank
thank you so much, David. Thank you, Amy. It's been awesome having you with us.
Thanks.